we're not going to go to AWS because AWS clusters, EKS clusters, they take half an hour to spin up. So we definitely pick Civo for a use case like that. I'm really excited to get up on stage and talk about how Civo is empowering us to make lightning quick demos. My name is Tao Hansen. I'm a developer advocate at Garden.io, together with Trip, who's my senior. We make developer tooling for developers who want to get back to coding how it used to be. So how we see that is we want to keep developers inside their own inner loop where they're free from distractions. So, a developer should not have to plug into CI in order to get feedback on flaky tests. Everything should happen locally. I say that with a disclaimer that we want to feel as if it's a locally driven development, but we for example support clusters running on remote infrastructure. So developers will have their own namespace in a production like Kubernetes cluster, and they will use that to get instant feedback on their code, especially if they're like running in containers, for example. They don't need to rebuild the containers if they're using our dev mode. They're just typing away, and the code is actually getting synced into the container live. So it's all about just keeping them very close to the code, getting that kind of instant feedback. What I do love so much about Kubernetes is that there's so much tooling around the GitOps workflow to get your whether you don't even want to package your application, you're just running the code. So I think despite the reputation that Kubernetes gets as really complex, and it can be, if you know where to look, I think that Kubernetes actually becomes a way of making the deployment story invisible. So I use Kubernetes myself for like personal projects, like a Python bot that I've been working on for that runs on the Telegram chat client. At Garden, we use Kubernetes clusters to run our enterprise cloud product for users looking for a more managed experience, and also for clients who want to take advantage of some of our paid tier offerings. We have been experimenting with Civo. First of all, I got started using Civo just because I thought it was really exciting technology. I remember the first time I picked up Kubernetes, and the quick start that I used was K3s, right? Everybody knows K3s. They're really friendly local developer clusters, and I was just totally intrigued both by the hardware side that Civo is sort of leading the way on, which is these open hardware server racks that just can get wheeled in, plugged in anywhere in the world, and the fact that they were using K3s, which is just a very lightweight Kubernetes. In my testing, I have found that the K3s clusters on Civo, they spin up very quickly, so they're perfect for a use case that developer advocates like my senior and myself would use during a talk, where we're going to get some code running, and the first step is getting a cluster up real quick, right? We're not going to go to AWS. Because AWS clusters, EKS clusters, they take half an hour to spin up. So we definitely pick Civo for a use case like that. Another thing that I think is really cool about Civo is how supportive they are. of developers just getting started with Kubernetes. There's the entire Civo Academy for developers anywhere on their life cycle journey of getting to grips with Kubernetes. I think that's really exciting. I think the marketplace is really exciting, where you can just spin up a cluster and choose what applications it comes with right out of the box. That's really cool. And I think maybe the most exciting part for me has just been how Civo has adopted really brand new technologies, things like infrastructure as code tooling, like Upbound's crossplane, where you can declare an auto-reconciling cluster, and if anybody touches it, you can be sure that that cluster will do its best to go back to the state you declared it, you wanted it to be. So all of I mean that kind of forward thinking permeates Civo's products and also the culture. So I'm really glad to be a part of the developer advocate program. Yeah, so I just joined the developer advocate program. Of course, I'm excited to have some free credits. That's always good. But I think I'm also just really excited to see how Civo and Garden, at least the developer advocates at Garden, can work together. I want to get Civo out there in front of eyeballs, and I hope we can kind of find a way to empower each other and get excited about each other's tech stacks. So, if Civo has developers that are wanting to accelerate their workflows, I'm really excited to maybe find a way that we can get Garden into their hands. And likewise, I'm really excited to get up on stage and talk about how Civo is empowering us to make lightning quick demos.